So today we're going to be breaking down John Shook's logically invalid argument. Now, this is a debate I've watched in the past, and I didn't know anything about philosophy at the time, or logic, reasoning, fallacies, this, that, the third, so I just looked at this with my own intuitive understanding that Shook was wrong, and actually I just realized I got to turn on output capture, but in any case, after learning about philosophy, I realized John Shook's argument was retarded. He was so bad. So we're going to break it down today. All right, so.
Naturalism is correct?
Yes, that you cannot prove that there is no reality beyond the material
there's
world.
two separate questions here that have to be distinguished and carefully
listen
answered.
carefully.
I'll do it exceedingly briefing. Nature exists. If there's an argument against that, I haven't heard it. To argue that naturalism therefore is correct simply requires the additional view that none of the positive arguments for supernaturalism work. To declare that supernaturalism cannot be proven false is in itself not a positive argument for supernaturalism. I've
Now,
made that
Dr.
point.
All right, so let's break that down. All right, got a notepad here. We're going to be very clear about this. So first is nature exists. So first of all, let's look at the definition of naturalism. Naturalism definition. All right, style of theory. If it's excluded. Okay. Is a view that only natural things exist. Okay. So let's write naturalism equals. This is going to be important later. Okay, so naturalism equals only nature, no supernatural. Okay, now realize this is the important part here. Alright, this is going to be the defining aspect. Where's the bold? I've never used this thing before. Alright, whatever. No supernatural. So, the first premise is nature exists. Let's open up the transcript. There is no transcript. That's great. Okay.
Is in itself not to declare that supernaturalism for supernaturalism was the additional view that none of the positive arguments.
Okay, nature exists. Two, the arguments for supernaturalism. That's essentially what he said. So, anyone who knows anything about logic would realize that therefore naturalism is true, given the definition up here. Okay, this is a non sequitur. Okay, this does not follow. What follows is simply agnosticism at this point. This leaves you as agnostic, these two premises. Okay, in order to do this, okay, you need to do this, okay? The argument, you would have to have the premise that instead of this, okay, this is, can I strike through on here? Bro, oh my god, I can't strike through, are you kidding me? Okay, whatever. Instead, the second premise would need to be nature exists. Supernaturalism is false. Okay? Now realize, if you understand logical reasoning and whatnot, you know that simply disproving an argument would not disprove the conclusion. So, you don't have this. You have this instead. This leaves you with, I don't know. So, this is simply agnosticism. So, to illustrate this, let's say 2 plus 2 equals 4 because your mom likes those. Okay? Now, this is fallacious. This argument is invalid. This argument doesn't work. But the conclusion, this conclusion, 2 plus 2 equals 4, that's the conclusion, that is true. So this is just to illustrate the point that just because an argument is logically invalid doesn't mean that it is false. So given that understanding, You can't simply just say the arguments are supernatural and aren't convincing, and then lead that to and say that there is no supernatural because of that. You can only say that you doubt it, but that's I don't know. That's equivalent to saying I don't know. So his premises only leave him with being an agnostic, which Craig will point out.
For supernaturalism work. To declare that supernaturalism cannot be proven false is in itself not a positive argument for.
And as a pretext, Craig never said that. So this is a straw man you're going to see time and time again.
Supernaturalism. I've
Now,
made that
Dr.
point
Shook,
repeatedly.
from those two premises that nature exists and that there is no bridge to a supernatural reality, do you really think that it follows that nature is all there is?
That is the most reasonable conclusion
Well, by
remaining
what
so far.
logical rule of inference does that follow? It seems to me that from those two premises, all that follows is we don't know if there is something beyond nature.
Agnostic.
Let me try an analogy. Suppose, to see how my reasoning process works, let me try an analogy. Suppose you have a large sum of money you wish to invest, and I'm a broker, and I'm telling you the stock market's going up and up and up and up and up. And you say to me, well, now look, I'm pretty happy with my bank checking
this. I'm
account. My
gonna
money's really safe.
write this down.
Give me several positive good reasons for investing it in the stock market. And I proceed to give you one after another really weak, in your judgment, argument. And after you get past the third or fourth one, you stop me and you say, no, I'm not going to additionally try to put my money in the stock market. I don't want my money there. You haven't given me enough good reasons.
Okay, now,
All right, so let's take this example, okay? All right, so the pretext is I have money. Okay, so stock broker. Now this is probably isn't gonna be the most sound write down of this, but you'll get the point across. Stockbroker says stock market go boom. Actually, let me not be spec about this. Stockbroker tells me the market will go up. I ask what reason. 3. Stockbroker does not. So this is actually the same thing. This is actually an accurate example to his viewpoint. But realize it's a non sequitur to say here, therefore, from here. Therefore, the market will not go up. This is wrong. This is a non sequitur. That's not. I need a better notepad, but this is a non sequitur. This does not follow. Okay? What follows is, therefore, I am not convinced. Okay? You can't, because remember, you can't make the claim now that the market will not go up. You can only say that you're not convinced. You can only say you don't know if the market will go up or not. You're just not convinced that it will. Now, again, this makes you an agnostic about the market going up or down. Okay? You don't know at the end of the day. You're just not convinced. So, like I said, naturalism, to tie this back, naturalism is the claim that there is no supernatural, much like how atheism is the claim that there is no God. Okay? So you can't play this game where you're like, well, I don't know, I'm just not convinced. Because that leaves you as an agnostic. You're not really making a claim at that point.
The naturalist is somebody who
now, wait, look,
retains
this
belief in
exactly
nature.
illustrates my point. That person has not given you reasons to believe the stock market is going up. But that doesn't allow you, anyway, logically, to conclude that, therefore, the stock market isn't going to go up or that it's going to go down. You simply have to withhold judgment. You see, it seems to me your reasoning here is logically invalid.
Now, I thought John Shook was just a scientist, but he's actually a philosopher, if you don't believe me, because his argument is really bad. So you would assume, like, oh, he must be, yeah. You must believe, okay, well, he's probably some scientist, like Peter Atkins, so he just didn't make a very good argument. But look, John R. Shook, PhD in philosophy. He's a philosopher. and he still commits these basic errors. But yes, telling a philosopher's arguments, your reasoning is logically invalid. That's like telling him he's a retard. In full. That's like the polite way of telling a philosopher he's a complete retard. And his mom hates him.
No, it's not logically invalid. It's simply conservative. I'm very conservative with my money.
Well, let's talk.
Let me again try to explain very briefly without taking up your valuable time. Look, suppose your stockbroker said, well, why are you so hesitant to invest money in the stock market? After all, you can't prove that the stock market won't go up. Should you say, well, come a day, I'm getting rich. I can't prove the stock market isn't going up. I'm going to get rich.
Come on, now,
So, if anyone who pays attention, because you see he's getting applause like, oh, yeah, 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 like, what he just said makes no sense. Because, okay, let's go in order. Okay, so we just dealt with this. So now, one, go back to the regular form. One, the stock broker claims the unit go up. Two. This is basically what he's saying. Therefore, this is what he tries to make fun of, right? Therefore, the market will go up. So this is logically invalid, clearly. Okay? This is stupid. But the thing is, no one said this. No, this example is out of nowhere. Okay? Because the whole point Craig was making is that this is a logically invalid argument. Okay? You're simply not convinced. You do not know the market will not go up. And to tie it back, you do not know if there's no supernatural. Okay? You're just not convinced. That's not the same as making the claim that there is no supernatural. Okay, there's a difference. So, this example doesn't make any sense. Like I said, this is just... it's... I don't even know what to call it. It's just completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. The only way this will be relevant is if Craig had said at some point, you can't disprove the market, excuse me, you can't disprove supernatural. Therefore, so this example only makes sense if someone said this, and this is a bad argument, by the way. That's the only way this makes sense here. I misspelled convinced. Wait, no, I didn't. Okay, whatever. So look, you can't disprove the supernatural, therefore you should believe it. This is a bad argument. But Craig never said this. And like I said, this argument here would only make sense if Craig, this would be a form of reductio ad absurdum. And that it would only make sense if Craig said this, but he never did. So this only looks like a straw man to me, which we're going to get into later.
Look, Dr. Shook,
That's unwise
Dr.
reasoning,
Shook,
I think.
please, let's be serious.
Listen to what he said there. He said that's unwise reasoning. So clearly he believes that's Craig's view, but he never said that. Craig never said that at any point in this debate. So it's just a straw
The
man.
point is, the point is,
I assure you, I'm serious about
from the
money.
lack of evidence that the market will go up, it does not follow that therefore the market will not go up.
I just
but it
agreed to
doesn't
that,
follow
yes.
that it's going to go down.
I agree
and
with
yet
that point entirely.
naturalism is the view that there is nothing beyond the physical world on your definition, and you admit you cannot prove that by reason, science, and experience.
You're manipulating words. A naturalist is convinced that nature exists. Okay?
So am I.
You're asking the naturalist to additionally believe in the existence of the supernatural, and the naturalist is simply saying, give me some good enough positive arguments.
That's not
Now,
the
we've gone
definition of
back and forth
naturalism you
on the-
give. Your
sorry?
definition of naturalism is that there is nothing beyond the physical world, that there's nothing in addition to matter and energy. There are no supernatural realities. And the absence of evidence for those leaves you at best with agnosticism, not with naturalism. Naturalism cannot establish its own
it's-
worldview.
Quite right. It's unfortunate we're back to debating terminology instead of reality. Look, this business of agnosticism is a bit odd. Suppose I were to say the reason why I don't believe in the supernatural is because, I have not enough good reasons to believe in it. Now, does this make me an agnostic or an atheist? In a weird sort of way, I'm both. They're not necessarily mutually
Okay, so the difference between atheism, damn, notepad's pissing me off. So atheism equals there is God. Agnostic equals no. Okay? So, these are mutually exclusive terms. Okay? In order to do this, you would need to get to this, you need to prove. Why does it like that? Oh, whatever. That's narrow, by the way. There is no. You need proof God does exist in order to make this claim, logically at least. For an agnostic, you simply say, I am not convinced. That's what you would say. Now realize here, his arguments just leave him with that being an agnostic. Okay? Because, again, he doesn't have any reason to say that God does not exist, or supernatural within the context of this debate. But he hasn't given an argument for that. He hasn't given an argument that says supernatural does not exist. He's only given arguments that say, I am not convinced. So, he's an agnostic, essentially. And, these naturalists who talk like that, to me, it just seems like, it's like some basic blonde chick who's like, well, I have a gluten allergy and they're trying to be special. Like, look at this. Nature exists. I am not convinced God exists. Isn't this just an agnostic? I mean, doesn't an agnostic believe that as well? Like, this naturalism, this whole naturalism, like, his viewpoint is basically the gluten, I spelled atheism wrong there, is the, the blonde, like, being an agnostic is like the basic blonde chick. And naturalism, under his definition that he's giving, is the basic blonde chick with the gluten allergy. That's what we're dealing with.
Exclusive terms. An agnostic is somebody who cannot prove that supernaturalism is false. But again, that in and of itself is not a positive reason to go ahead and jump into the
But has
question and think
anybody
you're gonna
offered
land
in
on
tonight's
something.
debate the claim that because you can't show supernaturalism to be false, therefore you should believe in supernaturalism?
There you
Who
go.
has argued that tonight?
Well,
Nobody. I've given five
When I
positive
hear
arguments for
you have
supernaturalism,
tonight,
and we've not heard any positive arguments for naturalism. All you have said is that my arguments fail, but that doesn't serve to establish that the material world is the only reality there is. There could be something beyond it.
there could be something.
There could be something beyond it. So, that essentially leaves you as an agnostic. You don't know. That's an admission of agnosticism right there. You don't know. Okay?
Beyond it, and I've already
All
told
right.
you it might be more nature.
So,
For all you know
Then-
or
then
anybody
that's
knows,
self-contradictory.
I don't need the
If it's
supernatural.
more nature, it's not beyond it.
so look at the applause there. Those people, everyone, this is the most, everything he just said right there, we all acknowledge that's retarded, but that's the most retarded thing he has said in this debate. Okay, let's actually break down, because people clap for him. Let's, I should have assumed it earlier. Alright, look at this start. There, okay, let's, nature exists. Nature exists. There may be something beyond nature, but could just be another nature. This is retarded. There may be something beyond nature, but might just be more nature. It's circuit. That's definitionally circuit. Because you're just in the same place. You're just in the same place. Like this is circular. Okay, nature exists, but there may be more nature. You just make a circle. It's a circular reasoning. He's a philosopher. This is obviously circular reasoning.
Right? That's a self-contradiction, friends. Those who say that there may be more nature beyond it, it's still nature. That doesn't say there is something beyond nature.
Exactly.
Well, let's talk about the.
All right. So that's the microcosm for this debate. John Shook's logically invalid argument.